Good morning, everybody. Thank you for those of us who are logged on with us this morning. Welcome to our October Daring to Learn session. My name is Elena Boyd. I am an extension assistant with the UT Center for Profitable Agriculture. If this is your first time joining us for a Daring to Learn session, we do this webinar series on the second Tuesday of every month. Our topics change from month to month, but today we've got Travis Key with TK Digital Marketing on with us. He's going to be talking to us about long form YouTube content. And just as a reminder, I mentioned this to some folks earlier before I started recording, but you at any time you can send us a message in the chat box. We'll be watching that as we get started. So if you have a question or if you need to stop us for any reason, feel free to do that. And if you need to hop off at any time once we get started, feel free to do that as well. This session is being recorded. It will go up on the center's YouTube channel after we get finished today. And I can get you guys access to that playlist in your reminder email that will go out after the session. But I will go ahead. I'll give Travis a chance to introduce himself, and I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Elena. Let me go ahead and share my screen here, if I could do that.
There you go.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about long form YouTube video here, something Elena asked me to do a webinar on, something I've been doing for quite a while now. And today we're focusing on how to use YouTube for your business, not necessarily how to be a YouTube star or influencer or anything like that. Because, yeah, you can make money being a YouTuber from, Google ad revenue and stuff like that. But unless you've got millions of subscribers, it's not going to be extremely profitable. But what can be profitable is developing a following and then selling that following your product or creating awareness for whatever cause you might have. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is using long form YouTube video to increase your organic reach and drive conversions to your website, whatever those conversions might be. So a little bit about myself. So I have a marketing business called TK Digital Marketing. I also have a second business called Lazy Dog Farm. We have a YouTube channel, as you can see there on the left, a little over 80,000 subscribers at the moment. We with Lazy Dog Farm, we do a lot of fig trees, so we grow and sell fig trees. I have a pretty big fig orchard here at my place. We've got somewhere between 70, 100 different varieties. So we propagate those and sell those on our website online, also sell seeds and a few other garden products. So we have that. And then with my marketing business, I also help other companies try to grow their business. And my clients are from lots of different industries. I have a client up top right there that's an elder law attorney that also does a lot of veteran stuff, helps veterans get benefits. I have a client that does pond management. That's what you see that thumbnail in the middle there. And then another one of my clients is actually in Tennessee, Oaks Daylilies. I work with them on some of their video stuff and helping them optimize their marketing efforts. So I've been doing YouTube for quite a while now. I also build websites, do a little bit of everything in the digital marketing arena. So let's talk about organic reach real quick before we get into long form video stuff, because that's our goal with these videos, is to improve our organic reach. We want organic reach versus paid reach, because organic reach is free. Well, kind of free, right? We have to put in that effort up front to obtain that organic reach, but it's not like paid ads where we're having to pay for every time somebody sees that ad or clicks that ad. So there's a lot of long-term benefits of establishing that organic footprint, in the search engines, stuff like that. We just have to kind of put in the work up front. But if we put in that work up front, we get lots of dividends for years to come. So here's a little snapshot I took from Google Analytics of just our Lazy Dog Farm website. I think this was just from September alone. And you can see there, majority of our traffic is organic traffic. We don't do any paid ads at all. Uh, so everything's coming organically from our videos, our blogs, stuff like that. I'm a huge proponent of doing things this way, although it's an ad campaign, but if you take the time and do things right, man, it just exponentially builds on itself over the years, and you can really grow a business without having pay a lot of advertising money. All right, so let's talk about just the benefits of video in general for a business. So videos in general are going to really help you build brand authority and trust. You can have a really good looking website, you can have a great product, but you know, not everybody that visits that website and sees that product, industry averages are around say 2 to 4% of people that visit your website are actually going to buy something or sign up for something. But videos really help increase that conversion rate because you put a face with the product or the business they build. It builds trust, it builds credibility, helps you connect to existing customers and potential customers. So we see this a lot with our YouTube channel. Once we have a customer, they're connected to us because they trust what we're putting out there. They trust what we tell them. And we come out with a new product or I have a new fig variety that I'll list on the website. It goes just like that, just sells out really, really fast because these people trust what we say and they believe that we've done them right in the past and we'll continue to do them right in the future. So great way to connect to those customers and stay in touch with them without having to do kind of one-to-one contact. So like I said, puts a face with a product or service instead of just having it on a website. Videos are really good for product demonstration. So if you have a product that I don't say it's hard to use, but has a pretty good instruction manual with it. Videos are a great way to break down, how to use a product, how to troubleshoot if something goes wrong with your product. For our fig trees, for example, fig trees are pretty easy to grow. It's hard to kill a fig tree, but we use our videos. Excuse me, let me get some water here. We use our videos as a way to show people how to plant the trees, how to water the trees, how to fertilize the trees, all that kind of good stuff. So we kind of walk them along and help them be successful with the product they purchase from us. And then lastly, a really huge one for me, and I tell this to all my clients, video helps you reduce the customer service issues. So think about this, if you're getting a constant influx of calls or emails, customer service issues, the same problem over and over again, whether it was your fault or not, you can address that with a video and you can really reduce the workload on your staff by doing that. Send out that video in an email. If you get somebody emailing you or calling you, say, hey, what's your email? I'll send you this video. You can watch it and it'll solve all your problems. So it reduces a lot of that back and forth with customers if they do have issues. And a lot of times it allows you to get in front of those issues. For instance, we sell carrot seeds on our website. We did a video a couple weeks back, how to plant carrot seeds. Carrots can be a little tricky to germinate because you got to keep the soil moist for, say 7 or so days after planting. Well, we do a video showing people how to plant them, how to keep that soil moist. It's going to reduce the likelihood that we're going to get a lot of messages saying, well, my carrot seeds didn't germinate, them thinking that it was a problem with the seeds itself. All right, so that's why we want to do video. Why do we want to do videos on YouTube specifically, which is what we're going to be talking about today? Well, as most of you probably already know, YouTube is the second largest search engine behind Google, and it's owned by Google. over 2 billion logged in users per month. That's a lot of people. YouTube videos have very high consumption rates. As you're probably aware, you get on YouTube watching one video, next thing you know, you've sat there for 30 minutes or longer watching more videos. Once you start watching, you just kind of keep watching. Uh, and YouTube is really good. Their algorithm is really good. They know what people want. So here's a screenshot I took of my YouTube homepage earlier. I think it was yesterday. I took this, and they know what I like to watch. They know I like to watch football. They know I like to watch this hurricane coverage because we live pretty close to the Gulf Coast here, and they know I like to watch superhero movies. So, they put stuff right in front of you that they know you want to see. A lot of people use YouTube for research and entertainment. So they're researching particular products they want to buy, or particular methods they want to use, or particular causes they want to support. And that's a way you can get your business or your brand out in front of people that are searching for that kind of content. And another thing, it's free. There's that kind of again. You have to put in the effort. You have to actually, create the content, as we'll talk about, and post it. But the distribution of it on YouTube is free. It doesn't cost me anything to post my Lazy Dog Farm videos on YouTube. So YouTube, great platform for organic reach, as we'll talk about today. All right, so I've done webinars or presentations in the past on short form content. Today we're going to be focusing specifically on long form content, and let's kind of define long form content here so everybody's on the same page. Typically we're talking about content that's 10 minutes or longer. Now that's just kind of an arbitrary number. I would say 8 minutes or longer probably would count as well. Most of my videos are in the 10 to 15 minute range. You can see that one there we did after Hurricane Helene. It's about 13 and a half minutes long. So let's say at least 8 or 10 minutes long. Long form video is going to tell a story instead of just a quick, hey, this is how I'm doing. You're presenting something in kind of a storytelling format. That format is the most effective on YouTube. Advantages of long form content over short form content would include you get increased engagement. Somebody watching your content, that's going to be favorable for your brand and your other videos, your visibility in the YouTube algorithm. It's also going to help deepen the connection with your viewers. If you just got people watching little 1 minute videos here and there of you, they may see it. They may think you're funny. They may think you have a great product, but they don't really connect with you that much because they're only seeing you 1 minute at a time. With these long form videos, you can really deepen that connection with your audience, let them kind of know who you are, and then it really builds that trust that we talked about earlier. Long form video is also going to give you more opportunity for what we call calls to action in the marketing world. So, remember the whole goal here is to drive, traffic to our website, or to get people to do some kind of action after or while they're watching this long video. So, whether that's, hey, go to my website and read this blog I wrote to give you more information. Go to my website and buy this product that I showed in the video that I think you could really use. Sign up for this event we're having soon, or just join our email newsletter so you can stay in touch with any news that we have coming. So we want to use that watch time that we're getting, somebody watching this video for 8 to 10 minutes. We want to use that as an opportunity to get some kind of action out of it from the viewers. All right, so let's talk about 3 components of a successful YouTube strategy, and we'll start with understanding your audience. This is a big one because you see so many people that start YouTube channels and they're all over the place with their content, even in the kind of homesteading, gardening niche, which my channel kind of fits in. You see people just try to do too much and they're all over the place. One video, they'll be repairing a lawnmower. The next video, they'll be planting beans. And it's, you really, to be effective on YouTube, you have to do what they call niche down. So you have to find your niche and stick with it. You may think that there's not a lot of people out there in that niche, but there's 2 billion people on YouTube. A lot of people would never think you could do a YouTube channel and just talk about figs, but I could. Now we do a lot of gardening videos as well, but I could just talk about all these neat fig varieties from all over the world and have a decent following, do that. So don't be afraid to niche down and really focus in on one particular group of people. In understanding your audience, you want to identify those customer slash viewer pain points. So, what are the issues that your audience has frequently? In the gardening world, it could be, managing weeds in the garden, or how to get this particular vegetable to grow well, or how to get these seeds to germinate, or how to grow your own tomato plants, whatever. Understanding what things people have problems with the most will point you in the right direction of how you need to organize your content. Want to learn about their interest and their search habits. What are people searching for online? People are probably, searching for, how do I grow my own tomatoes? Think about what people might be typing into a search engine, and that will give you an idea of the type of content you need to put out for your particular niche that you're trying to occupy. So when we understand this, we can create content tailored to their needs. Now, this is going to take some time to understand if you're a brand new channel, brand new business, and you're just starting to put out videos, because you kind of have to build that data with YouTube. But after a while, YouTube kind of gives you back a lot of information just in your channel analytics. For instance, I can go into my channelytics at any time and it will tell me other videos that my audience is watching in the last 7 days, channels and other videos. So I can kind of see, okay, so my audience likes these other channels here. I can see these channels that have more subscribers than I do, and I can kind of mirror, not copy, but kind of use that as a way to gain some direction as far as what type of information to be giving my viewers. So the second component is creating content ideas, and this is where a lot of people struggle. What do I make a video about? They've got 2 or 3 good video ideas, but then they kind of just get stuck. So it's really good to have these brainstorming sessions, and I do this with a lot of my clients because they'll say, we don't know what to put on our, we don't know what to make a video about next week. And we can quickly, almost every time we do this, we'll sit down for an hour, and next thing you know, we've came up with 30 video ideas. So there's some techniques and strategies that I use there to do that. And a lot of it is just going through your customer service issues and questions. What are the questions you get the most? A lot of times you can take those and break them down and come up with 10 or 20 video ideas really, really quickly. If you're selling an actual product, product tutorials are great. Videos about why your product is superior to, other products out there on the market. You don't have to necessarily bash your competitors, but you can use your selling points and really highlight those in a video. Behind the scenes videos work great as well. That goes back to that whole connecting to your customer thing, showing them, hey, we're real people. We're a family-owned business or whatever. These are the people we have working here, hardworking people, and they're doing their best to put out a great product or service for you. Also really helps to interview experts, within your niche or field or whatever it may be, to provide additional information. And a lot of times you can use that to kind of verify what you're doing already. And then the third component of a successful YouTube strategy would be consistency. This is a huge one. Consistency matters. You want to use a similar format and delivery for each video. You got to give people what they want and what they expect. You wouldn't want to be flipping through the TV and turn on the Deadliest Catch show. You expecting them to be out there in rough water catching crabs, and all of a sudden, or going and eat at a fancy restaurant. You tune in to Deadliest Catch. You want to see them out there fighting the waves and catching some crabs. When somebody is used to watching your content, when they tune in, they want the comfort of knowing, getting what they're expecting. So, keep it kind of similar. You don't want the same exact thing on every single video, but a similar format and a similar delivery. You got to create a posting schedule. You got to post every time you post a video, it needs to be on the same day at the same time. So, you can see here our schedule over there. We do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they post at 8 p.m. every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's a tough schedule for a lot of people to maintain 3 videos a week. For some of the businesses I help, they do a video once every 2 weeks, and that's fine. Some businesses may only be able to do a video once a month. That's fine as well. Could be once a week, could be twice a week. Figure out what that realistic schedule that you can keep is and stick to it. So don't create a schedule you can't keep and do 2 videos this week and then skip 3 weeks. That's not great for YouTube. You need a consistent schedule, whether it's once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. You get the point. All right, so what do you need to do all this? Well, nowadays, with as great as the cameras on phones are, you don't really need a whole lot. Now, I started out when I started out, phone cameras weren't as great as they are now. So I had a handheld camcorder, and then I kind of evolved into about a $500 camera, and then now I've got about a $2,000 camera. But you don't need that to get started. You can do it all with the phone. Just remember, if you're doing long form video, the phone needs to be turned sideways, not vertically. So if it's vertically, that's short form video, sideways or long ways, that's long form video. Probably gonna need a tripod just to keep things still. You can get cheap tripods for your phones online. And then excuse me, really good to have an external microphone. The audio from an iPhone can sometimes be good if you're inside, but if you're outside, it can be kind of sketchy and not as clear. So you can get external mics for a phone, usually in the 50 to $100 range for a good one. So you don't really need a whole lot. Just keep it simple in the beginning. Don't go overboard on equipment, because in the beginning, that's not the most important thing. You can always, graduate to better equipment as you grow. It's really about getting that first video or that first series of videos out there. Just, I always tell people your first video is going to be your worst video. Just don't overthink it. Just shoot that first video, get it out there, and get in the habit of filming stuff and posting it. You'll get better as you go. Nobody's first YouTube video was great. Nobody's. All right. So how do we plan a long form video? Do not script your videos word for word, because it will be obvious to the viewer that you have done that. Instead, just try to create a bulleted outline, just a really loose outline. Over here, I took a screenshot of a video I did, I think last week, on just updating on some of the onions we have growing around here. And I realize my handwriting's not the best right there, because I do this real fast. I'm just rough sketching it out because I don't want it to be really scripted. I want to have a outline I stick with, but I don't really want it to be scripted. I want to come off as natural on camera. So, your outlines may be a little more elaborate than this starting out. And then as you get better at it, your outlines may be fairly brief, the better you get. But just create kind of a loose outline. Don't script things word for word. Keep in mind here, you're wanting to tell a story. And that story should be based on this kind of basic format. You want to start out the video introducing some question or problem. So this could be a question that a lot of your customers or viewers have asked, or one that is a common problem in your business or industry. And then throughout that video, you want to provide value to the viewer by giving them a solution or answer to that question or problem. And then at some point in the video or at the end of the video, you want to give a call to action, something they can do, you know, as a result. So really, really basic format. If you stick to this format, you should be successful on YouTube. Start with a question or problem, solve it. Don't solve it too quick. Elaborate on it. You got to think here. You should always answer a question or problem with the mindset that this person has no idea what they're talking about. So, for example, with gardening, if if the question I'm trying to answer is how to get carrot seeds to germinate, I have to answer that question with the assumption that whoever's watching has never grown anything in their life, and this is their first garden they've ever done, and they want to grow some carrots. So I have to just break it down really, really simple, because you never know who's going to watch that video. It's not always going to be experienced gardeners. A lot of times it's going to be those people who are searching how to grow carrots and they've never done a whole lot of gardening before. So keep it simple. And then, like I said, provide that call to action at some point, or at the end of the video. Go read this blog, go buy this product, or watch this other video. You want them to keep, engaging with your content, your website, something to do with your business. All right, filming tips. So, audio is probably the most important thing. You will lose viewers in a heartbeat if they tune into your video and the audio quality is poor. Got to have good audio. And this is something you just got to practice, especially if you're filming outside. If you're filming inside, you just don't want to do it in a room where there's not a lot of furniture, because you'll get a lot of echo. As long as you're in a room off of, the audio is usually fairly decent. But if you're outside, which we shoot all our videos outside, it can be a little more tricky because you've got wind to deal with. There's some days where I want to shoot a video, I have a topic I want to talk about, it's just too windy outside to shoot it. I know even with a windscreen on my microphone, the audio is gonna be awful. And so I just have to wait till another day. So, if you're in the beginning, test your audio out, make sure your audio sounds good. The last thing you want to do is shoot a 10 to 15-minute video and then get back, upload it on the computer and realize that you can't hear anything or the wind's muffling anything. So you gotta do a little experimentation there and make sure you can get some good audio. If you're filming outside, a good rule of thumb, always keep the camera between you and the sun. Now, that a lot of times means that you're staring at the sun. The person who is, in front of the camera is staring at the sun. I wear sunglasses in every single video I do. As a result, I know some people find that faux pas or disrespectful or whatever, but if the sun is behind you, if the sun is pointing directly at the camera, it's going to blow out the footage and look too bright and not look that good. Now, if you've got a nice shady spot, you're under a barn, that's not a huge issue. But if you're outside, try to keep the camera between you and the sun, or just film on overcast days. Overcast days are great because you don't really have to worry about the sun as much. When you're filming, you want to mix up the shots if possible. I've got some clients like that lawyer client I showed you earlier. All his videos, he's standing there, in one of his conference rooms, and he's talking about whatever he wanted to talk about that day. But ideally, you want to mix up the shots if possible, move around a little bit, show different angles. One of the big mistakes I see people in the beginning make, maybe they're talking to the camera, but they also want to show something that's on the ground or low, lower, and whoever's filming will just be going back and forth, like from that person's face to the ground, back up to the ground, and it's just it doesn't translate well when people are watching it. So, cut the camera off, focus on whatever's on the ground, do a shot of that, and then go back to the person. Don't move the camera while it's rolling. Take advantage of a tripod, like I mentioned earlier, to keep footage still. If you're just standing there trying to hold a camera and keep it still, it's going to be tough. Use a tripod to keep it still so it's not moving around a whole lot. And if you're going to do a lot of vlog style shooting, which I do a lot of, you've seen people where they're walking around, they're holding the camera in one hand in front of their face. That, if you've never done that, it takes a little practice to be able to do it and keep the camera still. So practice keeping it still, practice that stabilization before you go out and go to shoot your first video. All right, let's talk about editing. And this is where a lot of people get hung up in the process. How do I edit? I've never edited anything before. I don't know anything about editing video. Well, in actuality, it's really not that hard. I've trained quite a few people over the years just how to do some simple YouTube editing, and really anyone can do it. Now, more complex editing like you see on some channels, yeah, that stuff's hard, and that's way out of my league as well. But that's not what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to make a movie. We're just trying to answer the question, solve somebody's problem and give them some insight into our business. We're not trying to, you know, make this spectacular show here. We're just trying to solve a problem or answer a question. So editing allows us to improve the audio if necessary. We want to make sure we have some smooth transitions. You can see down here, this is a kind of a timeline of that onion video, and you can see all the different shots I have here. I want to go through and make sure the transition from one shot to the next is nice and clean. So it's not too fast and it's not too slow. There's not just a gap between when I was talking in this spot versus when I started talking in another spot. But nothing fancy here. I'm not adding any special effects, nothing like that. All I'm doing is just joining all these clips together. Just want to keep it simple and presentable. Now, as far as editing software, there are a lot of them out there. I use Final Cut Pro because I'm kind of a Mac guy. I've got an iPhone. Yeah, I'm kind of beholden to all the Apple stuff, prisoner of theirs. So I use Final Cut Pro. I started out using iMovie. iMovie usually comes pretty standard if you buy a MacBook or something like that. And iMovie, I used it for a year or two before I kind of graduated to Final Cut Pro. So iMovie, if you're a Mac person, is a great starting point. It's really easy to use. Some of the others out there, you got CapCut, Filmora. The Adobe one is more high level. I don't know that I would recommend that one unless you're really wanting to dive in. Mojo. Like I said, there's a bunch of them out there. I really like Final Cut Pro if you're a Mac person. I think it's a one-time purchase. Used to be around 250, $300, but I've used it for years, still love it. All right, so once you've planned your video, once you filmed your video, once you edited your video, then comes probably the whole most important part of the process, which is actually optimizing the video. The thumbnail is the most important part. The most important part. You want to spend plenty of time on your thumbnail, making sure it's visually appealing. You got to think, just like you are when you're on YouTube scrolling through, other people are just scrolling through all these thumbnails, and you want something that's going to catch someone's eye. So you want to make sure to design YouTube will give you options when you upload a video of different thumbnails based on screenshots from your video, but you don't want to use those. You want to design your own. I use an online software called Canva, which works really, really good. Give you an idea of some testing we do with thumbnails from Oaks Daylilies, one of my clients in Tennessee. And they were originally, all their thumbnails would have pictures. So they sell daylily plants online. All their thumbnails would have pictures of just like this daylily landscape. Really pretty picture, but they weren't getting as many clicks as probably they should have. So we changed up our strategy. And I said, Instead, make your thumbnails really zoomed in on this really bright flower. And when they started doing that, they started getting a lot more views because a lot more people were clicking on their videos. You can see those two pictures there, just beautiful. If somebody was interested in daylilies, why wouldn't they click on that? When you're designing the thumbnails, if you're using Canva like I do, you want to go in there and really enhance the vibrance and the sharpness of the photo. So it really pops in that YouTube video feed, makes someone want to click it. You want to use what I call an appetizing title. So your title can't be something boring. It needs to be something that's going to compel someone to click on it and watch it. And don't make your thumbnail and your title exactly the same. So I'm a big fan of putting some kind of text on the thumbnail, as you see here, as Oaks has. But don't make that text the exact same as your title. Make it complement your title. Another thing you can do to optimize videos is to use playlists. So we have on our Lazy Dog Farm channel, we've got a playlist for just about everything. We've got a how to grow carrots playlist, how to grow onions playlist, how to grow tomatoes playlist, how to grow peppers playlist, so on and so forth. We've got a figs playlist. So anytime I post an onion video, it goes into that how to grow onions playlist. And over time, that builds up, and you've got this huge library of specific content, how to grow onions or how to grow this. And it can be really helpful. You'd be surprised how many people just find those particular playlists and watch all the videos in them. All right. So once we've optimized our long form video, we posted it on YouTube. We need to get more out of it than just posting it that one time on YouTube. We can repurpose this long form video for other marketing opportunities. So one thing I preach to all my clients, I try to do it as much as I can with my website, but things get busy, is to write a blog for each video. So one thing you can do is after you post your long video on YouTube, you can go in there and download the transcript. YouTube will automatically create a transcript that's pretty good. And you can take that transcript, put it into an AI software like Chat GPT or something, and say, hey, give me a blog based on this video transcript. And then you can take that output. You don't want to copy it word for word, but it will give you a nice format to go by. Turn that into a blog on your website, and then put the video embedded at the bottom of that blog. And that is awesome for website SEO. We do it with this attorney client of mine here, and his website traffic just keeps growing and growing and growing every year. It's amazing from where we started to where we are now, how many clicks his website gets per day just by making a blog out of these long videos he posts on YouTube. And you can see them down there, thumbnails at the bottom from the blogs on his website. So that's an easy way to get more out of your video than just the video itself. Make a blog out of it. Another thing is to use it for short form content. So you can go in there and take little clips from that long form video, clips less than a minute, and use those for shorts on YouTube or reels on Facebook and Instagram. So over here to the right, for instance, with this guy, he had a long form video that was like, I think it was 10 steps to filing a VA disability claim. So after we posted that long form video, then we went in there and broke it up into 10, say 40-second clips for every single step. And then we slowly, fed those to YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and Instagram. So we repurpose that content and get more out of it than just the long form video itself. Excuse me. The other big thing we want to do is drive sales and conversions. We're posting this video. We want people to watch it. We want our channel to grow, but we want them to do some kind of action on our website, buy something or, read something. YouTube currently has a really good integration with Shopify. That's one reason I'm a big proponent of Shopify as a website platform. right now because it has an integration with YouTube. So once your YouTube channel gets over 4,000 subscribers and so many views, you can monetize the channel. Or maybe it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I forget. They change it a lot. Anyways, once you get a certain status on YouTube, if you have a Shopify site where you sell things, you can integrate them. And on your videos, you can tag products from your website and have this seamless integration where people can really easily buy your products. We do it with our fig trees. You can see this little screenshot over here on the right. So this is a recent video. I tagged these particular varieties in that video, and man, it works amazing, amazing. Even if the video doesn't get a ton of views, even if the video only gets, say, maybe 5 or 6,000 views right out the gate, we always have really good sales from these videos where we're tagging products. So it makes the whole process of putting your products in front of people really, really easy. But currently, you can only do it if you have a Shopify site. You can also put links on the end screen. So down here, bottom left, I've got a screenshot from the end of one of our recent videos. You can see there, I tell them, hey, you want more information, go watch this video. And then up top right, the little picture of a fig, they can click that, go shop fig trees. And then if they click our logo, I think that subscribes them to the channel. So we have different things we can point them to there on the end screen at the very end of the video. We can also put links in the description that we can direct them to. So you can see there, I've got my product categories listed out. They can go buy raised beds, they can go buy plants or seeds, they can buy fig trees, fertilizers, and more. I make it easy for them. I don't just say, here's my website. I'll go ahead and give them those different categories to go to. And then I also, in every video I post, I put links to these how-to irrigation blogs because that's a big question we get all the time is how to set up drip irrigation. So I have different blogs I've created. I point people to those. Gets me a lot of cheap and free web traffic, but also they click links on those blogs. I get commissions from other companies that sell drip supplies. So it's all a kind of intertwined web here. So how do we determine if we're doing good on YouTube or not? One of the things a lot of people get discouraged because they don't grow as fast on YouTube and they compare themselves to other channels who have, 100,000 or more subscribers. You don't have to have a huge channel and be getting a ton of views to be successful if your goal is to grow your business. So you can use your YouTube. YouTube gives you a lot of good analytics. Some of them more important than others. One you really want to look at is watch time and see how that grows. Now, being a gardening content creator, our content is seasonal. I mean, we're putting out content year round, but it gets watched more in the spring and summer months. Falls off a little bit this time of year and into the winter, and we can kind of start to see that happening a little bit with that figure down there. But I look at watch time a lot because I want to see, how much total watch time I'm getting. That tells you a little more than just views itself does, because views, someone can watch just a few seconds of your video and that count as a view, but you really want to know how much watch time you're getting. Don't pay attention to subscribers a whole lot. That's what we call a vanity metric. So, you'll compare yourself to other channels, or channels compare themselves based on how many subscribers they have, but it doesn't really mean anything because you see channels all the time that have 200,000 or 300,000 subscribers that don't really get that many views per video. So don't worry about subscribers that much. One thing I do like to look at is average views per video that I'm getting during a particular season to see if I'm, falling off or I'm kind of gaining momentum. And then click-through rate on impressions, which is not in this screenshot, but a really important metric. It lets you know how good your thumbnails are. So it tells you, okay, how many times was this thumbnail shown to people versus how many times people actually clicked it. And if your click-through rate on impressions is low, then that tells you you need to probably, step up your thumbnail game a little bit. You can also use Google Analytics, which will tell you what will kind of bridge that connection between your YouTube channel and your website. So that's going to tell you, like that screenshot I showed you at the very beginning of the presentation, it's going to tell you how many people are coming from your YouTube channel to your website. And, one thing important to remember here, if you have a topic that performs well, hammer that topic, talk about it over and over and over again on sequential videos. For whatever reason, onion videos always do great for us. So I have a ton of onion videos out there. Okra videos always do well for us. So anytime I've got some good looking onions or okra in the garden, I'm going to do a video on it because I know those topics are always going to do well. Tomatoes are another one. So you'll find as you do more videos, certain topics that do well, just hammer them. You can do the same video, just stated in a different way, over and over and over. Just keep hammering it. So I know there's a lot of information and it can definitely be overwhelming, but you can do it. Just kind of follow this simple format here. Start writing down some content ideas, create that realistic schedule, whatever it may be for you. Plan out that first video, edit it, post it, no matter how bad you think it is. Don't show it to anybody. The worst thing you can do is shoot that video, edit it, and then show it to 10 of your friends and say, what do you think of this? You think it's all right? Should I post it? Don't do that, because then you're just going to start second guessing yourself. Post it no matter how bad you think it is, because it's your first video is always going to be your worst. Your flow, your speaking flow, your camera presence will get better the more you do it. You just got to keep doing it. There's no way to get better than to just do it. And like I said earlier, you can always create another version of the same video topic. So whatever that topic was on that first video, say 2-3 months later, when you get a lot better at doing it, do that first video over again. Just give it a different title, slightly different thumbnail, and do an improved version of it. You don't have to tell anybody that, oh, I'm redoing this video. Don't even say anything about it. Just keep putting improved versions of it out there as you go. Nobody's going to even realize you did it. So with all that being said, thank you for your time. Looks like we got some time for questions here. If you have any detailed questions, you can always email me at travis@tkdigitalmarketing.com. If you'd like some YouTube consulting or like to get started, send me an email and we can go from there. Sorry, my voice is losing it today.
That's okay. So we did have 2 questions. I'll read through this first one for you. It's in our chat box. So Pierre Ann asked, what kind of tools do you use to stay focused on your niche market and your product?
For me, a lot of it is just reading comments and being engaged with people. So, I used to reply to every single comment. I've gotten to the point where I don't have time to reply to every single one, but I do read through them. And so just reading the comments and understanding the problems that people are having, that they're echoing in the comments, encouraging people to comment when you're doing the videos. I didn't mention that, but a lot of it is just reading what people are saying really helps you understand, okay, I maybe need to niche down on this particular topic, or maybe I need to broaden out a little bit on this particular topic.
All right. And our second question, we got this one in the question and answer box. It asks, what do you use for copyright-free music and photos?
So I used to use music. I don't do it as much anymore because I was just trying to speed up the editing process. There's a software called Artlist. I think it's artlist.io is the website, artlist.io. I think it's $20 a month or something like that, but pretty good music on there. I used that for a while. YouTube has copyright-free music you can use now, I think. I don't, that's one of those things. Don't get hung up in the music and all that in the beginning. Really focus on your delivery and putting out good information. Uh, like I said, I used to do music and I cut it out just to speed up on editing time, and I don't think I've lost anything by dropping it. As far as photos go, because I'm doing a gardening channel, I have my own garden here. I take all my photos and use that. But every now and then I will use like that thumbnail of carrots you saw earlier, that actual picture of the carrots. I use an image from Canva. So with my Canva subscription, there's stock photos you have access to. You can use those.
And I know if you guys, to kind of expand on that a little bit, if you don't use Canva and you're specifically looking for photos, there are other websites. Adobe Stock is one that I use a lot. You have to pay for access for that, but there are other sites where you can get free, like royalty-free images. But like Travis said, Canva is an easy one if you have access to that at all. And then Adobe Stock is another good recommendation.
Yeah, Adobe Stock, if you're looking for something really specific, a lot of times Adobe Stock will have it more likely than Canva will. But for just basic generic stuff, Canva has a lot of what anyone would need. But try to use your own stuff if you can. Take your own pictures. I think that comes across as more uh, connecting with the viewer.
All right. Well, we've got time for a couple more questions, if anybody has any for Travis. But if not, I will remind you folks, for those of you that are still on with us on the live session, or for those watching later at home, our evaluation form, I'll pop that up on the screen here in just a little bit. But our attendance and evaluation form, I'll have that ready for you guys. If you are a Tennessee producer and you're looking for Tennessee Agriculture Enhancement Program educational credit, remember that you have to fill these evaluation forms out for the webinar sessions. It doesn't have to be during the live session. You can go back and watch it later, but I'll make sure to get that popped up before we end. And we've got another question. This one asks, how much time do you spend in all on a 10-minute video?
Oh, good question. Good question. So I have fine-tuned that over the years. It depends a little bit on what the video is. Some videos I'm more talking out in the garden, walking around. Some videos I'm actually demonstrating how to do something. Those take a little longer because you have to set that up. Like the carrot plant video, that one probably took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to shoot and I'm not filming the entire thing. I'm cutting it so it doesn't get all long and drawn out. But if it's something where I'm to clean out this bed, set up the irrigation, and talk about all that and show how to plant. Max, usually I try not to film for longer than 2 hours at a time. I know that sounds like a long time, but when you're cutting different processes, some videos I can go out and shoot a 10-minute video and say 45 minutes. And then editing probably takes me, I've done it a lot, takes me about 40 minutes to an hour to edit a 10 to 15-minute video. And then, thumbnail, we're probably looking about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's not out of the question to have a good 3 or 4 hours in a 10-minute video. Some people, depending on how you're shooting it, some people could zip it, and really, get that down closer to an hour or two, but not out of the question take 3 or 4 hours. And that's why it's important to have that realistic schedule to realize, okay, am I going to have 3 or 4 hours to do this every single week, or do I need to just try to go once every 2 weeks?
All right. Good questions, guys. And if you don't have anything else for Travis, I'll go ahead and pop up our evaluation form. Let's see. And Travis, this may take your screen off when I pop this up here. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, feel free to go ahead and hop off. Thank you, Travis, for your presentation, and thank you guys for your participation. This was a really nice session. Be on the lookout for the recording. I'll have that up on YouTube later, and I'll be sure to get a copy of the speaker slides to you guys in the follow-up email.
All right.
And we will see you all next month.